than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Oh, holy shit. Okay. All right. All right, folks. This is awesome. That was ABC anchor George Stephanopoulos.
George Stephanopoulos is my new hero. And that's how you handle an interview. You stop the lie mid-sentence, even if you have to.
This is the second time that George has abruptly ended an interview with J.D. Vance because J.D. Vance just refuses to answer the questions.
George Stephanopoulos cutting off J.D. Vance because he didn't answer the question was elite.
Normally, I would say that there are certain positions, like that of the vice president, that deserve a certain amount of respect. But when it comes to members of the Trump regime, we all should be a little bit more like George. Take it away, George. Show us how it's done. George.
The representatives of this administration from head to toe, they can't answer questions. And when they are asked questions, they divert and resort to spreading division and propaganda. And they end up not answering the questions. And I think Americans and the media is tired of that. Just by the way we see now them treating these leaders. Yeah, J.D. Vance just got kicked off live air because he was asked a question and he started, fumbling and spreading propaganda and gaslighting and spinning things because that's what they do. And as a result, George Stephanopoulos decided to, kick him off and cut him off. And Americans are like, yes, this is what we want. You guys better start cutting them off because they are literally focusing so much on making the Democrats look so bad that they don't care how they are coming off and how they are looking like to the public because they are super embarrassing themselves. And they are so full of themselves to an extent that they can't realize that. Americans are like, yeah, media people like George, they are heroes and they are actually applauding them. But of course, the other side is very upset of how dare you not respect the vice president. Hey, I want us to look at the reactions from the people in here and the clips that I'm going to incorporate of the vice president getting cut off and kicked off, of air, of ABC. Right, and definitely we'll come back and talk about it. But do me a favor, like the video, don't forget to share, subscribe to the channel as well, and let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that was well deserving? And what is this gonna teach these people that keep spreading propaganda? Let's watch. I'll be back with more.
The White House border czar Tom Homan was recorded on an FBI surveillance tape in September 2024, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money or give it back?
George, you've covered the story ad nauseum. Tom Homan did not take a bribe. It's a ridiculous smear. And the reason you guys are going after Tom Homan so aggressively is because he's doing the job of enforcing the law.
Well, you said he didn't take a bribe, but I'm not sure you answered the question. Are you saying that he did not accept the $50,000?
George, this story has been covered ad nauseum. He did not take a bribe. Did he accept $50,000? I'm sure that in the course of Tom Homan's life, he has been paid more than $50,000 for services. The question is, did he do something illegal? And there's absolutely no evidence that Tom Homan has ever taken a bribe or done anything illegal, which is why he's working in the administration.
I'm asking you, did he accept the $50,000 that was caught on the surveillance tape? Did he accept that $50,000 or not?
George, I don't know what you're talking about. Did he accept $50,000 for what?
He was recorded on an audio tape in September 2024, an FBI surveillance tape, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money?
Accepting $50,000 for doing what, George? I'm not even sure I understand the question. Is it a crime? Even the far left media like yourself. So I'm actually not sure what the precise question is. Did he accept $50,000? Honestly, George, I don't know the answer to that question. What I do know is that he didn't violate a crime.
So you don't, what was caught on the tape, you're saying right now you don't know whether or not he kept that money?
I don't know what tape you're referring to, George. I saw media reports that Tom Homan accepted a bribe. There's no evidence of that. And here's, George, why fewer and fewer people watch your program and why you're losing credibility. Because you're talking for now 5 minutes with the Vice President of the United States about this story regarding Tom Homan, a story that I've read about, but I don't even know the video that you're talking about. You are focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No,
Well,
George,
Governor
I
J.D.
said that I
Pritzker's
don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
JD Vance got shut down today, and this is exactly how the media needs to start handling the folks in the Trump administration who decide to go after the person asking the question instead of simply answering the question. And that was the perfect way to handle that, because he did not fall for JD Vance's trolling. Instead, what he did was he repeated the question and he explained to his audience that JD Vance is not answering this, and then he cut him off immediately. Perfect.
Normally, I would say that there are certain positions, like that of the vice president, that deserve a certain amount of respect. But when it comes to members of the Trump regime, we all should be a little bit more like George. Take it away, George. Show us how it's done. George.
Do you think Governor Pritzker has committed a crime?
Well, I think Governor Pritzker has certainly failed to keep the people of Illinois safe.
I asked if you agree with President Trump that Governor Pritzker has committed a crime.
Well, I think that Governor Pritzker has allowed a lot of people to be killed in the city of Chicago and elsewhere, George.
It's really a yes or no question. Do you believe he's committed a crime?
George, you're going to keep on asking this question.
The White House border czar Tom Homan was recorded on an FBI surveillance tape in September 2024, accepting $50,000 in cash. Did he keep that money or give it back?
Tom Homan did not take a bribe.
I'm not sure you answered the question. Are you saying that he did not accept the $50,000?
He did not take a bribe.
I'm asking you, did he accept the $50,000?
George, I don't know what you're talking about. Did he accept $50,000 for what? Accepting $50,000 for doing what, George?
Just cuts him off. It just cuts him off like he deserves. Thank you, G. Stephanopoulos.
Wait, did you say G. Stephanopoulos? Was he wearing a stunning blue suit and a power tie?
No, pretty much just a towel.
Oh, God. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, George, baby, drop the towel. Yeah, come on, drop the towel. You can do it. Drop the towel.
All right, we're not just pieces of meat.
To watch JD Vance just sit there and be completely unable to answer the basic question of whether Tom Homan, the border czar in charge of thousands of officers and billions of dollars of money, kept the $50,000 bribe that he got in a brown paper bag is incredible. I mean, yes or no, did it happen? But it's not just JD Vance, you see. It is everybody in this administration that gets asked about it. They can't answer, did he keep it or not? And JD Vance wants to say, well, he didn't commit a crime. There's no way to know that unless you can answer whether or not he kept the actual damn money, okay? And even if he didn't commit a crime, was taking $50,000 in a bag, which obviously he did, he's got to pay taxes on it. That could be tax evasion later. So, like, in so many ways, this issue perfectly sums up and encapsulates the unbelievable, historic, never before seen, never even imagined dishonesty and corruption of this administration. Dude takes 50 grand in a bag, obviously for a bribe, on tape doing it as part of a sting operation, and nobody in the administration can admit what happened to the money. I mean, come on.
George Stephanopoulos cutting off JD Vance because he didn't answer the question was elite. And that's what the media needs to start doing. When they don't answer the question, they answered the question. Move along, tell them they didn't answer the question, just don't let them answer it again. They've already answered. They answered without answering.
George Stephanopoulos is my new hero. And that's how you handle an interview. You stop the lie mid-sentence, even if you have to. But I'm tired of reporters just sitting there listening to a lie and not refuting it in real time. You need to fact check it in real time, and you need to refute it in real time, not follow up later. You don't let lies lay on the table. And that man, JD Vance, is a liar. He's a bold-faced, just everything that comes out of his mouth is complete and utter bull. And he knows it. He's even admitted that he will bend the truth to get his way. And that's not presidential at all. This man should not be even near the White House. And he's certainly him and his eyeliner. It's, ugh. Talk about hypocrisy. Anyway, George, keep doing that. And other reporters, follow suit. It's now time to really get at the truth. Because everyone's lying. Everybody's lies now. It's a whole culture of dishonesty.
This is the second time that George has abruptly ended an interview with JD Vance because JD Vance just refuses to answer the questions. I'm going to play a short clip of the first interview where George said, "Nope, we're done. I am cutting you off because all you're doing is lying." And clearly JD did not learn that lesson because the same thing happened again today.
Terry, I don't think that's going to happen, George. But of course, if it did, the president would have to respond to it. There are multiple examples throughout American history of the president doing just that.
You didn't say military in your answer, and you've made it very clear you believe the president can defy the Supreme Court. Senator, thanks for your time this morning.
No, George.
Roundtable's up next. We'll be right back.
You are focused on a bogus story. You're insinuating criminal wrongdoing against a guy who has done nothing wrong instead of focusing on the fact that our country is struggling because our government's shut down. Let's talk about the real issues, George. I think the American people would benefit much more from that than from you going down some weird left-wing rabbit hole where the facts clearly show that Tom Homan didn't engage in any criminal wrongdoing.
It's not a weird left-wing rabbit hole. I didn't insinuate anything. I asked you whether Tom Homan accepted $50,000, as was heard on an audio tape recorded by the FBI in September 2024, and you did not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next. We'll be right back.
Oh, holy shit. Oh, okay. All right. All right, folks. This is awesome. That was ABC anchor George Stephanopoulos brutally smacking down and cutting off and showing utter contempt and disrespect for Vice President J.D. Vance, which was absolutely earned, richly delivered, and he did it on live TV, and this is glorious. And by the way, Vance is pissed and is ranting about Stephanopoulos on Twitter. We have to talk about all of this, but before we do, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. Round of friggin' applause to George Stephanopoulos. I love it. That's great. That is great. J.D. Vance is one of the most disliked, contemptible people in the Trump administration. And I think we're well past the time of showing these losers the respect of their office. This idea we refer to him as Mr. Vice President and Sir and Mr. President and Sir. Now, screw that. These people are fascists. They're authoritarians. They have the power. There's no reason to treat them with a courtesy that they don't reciprocate when the shoe is on the other foot, especially when they lie their ass, as Vance does throughout the course of this interview. So let's jump in. Let's play some clips, starting with this one here.
The president has also pushed for National Guard deployments in several American cities. As you know, that's been questioned by several federal judges, including Trump appointees, also the Republican governor of Oklahoma and chairman of the National Governors Association, Kevin Stitt. Here's what Governor Stitt said. "We believe in the federalist system that states' rights. Oklahomans would lose their mind if Pritzker and Illinois sent troops down to Oklahoma during the Biden administration." How do you respond to Governor Stitt?
Well, I'd say to Governor Stitt, you have to look at what's happening on the ground in Chicago. And the reason why Illinois is a different case from Chicago is because Chicago has been given over to lawlessness. And
Chicago's in Illinois. Maybe he meant Oklahoma. I'm not sure, but great point by Republican Governor Stitt, which is Republicans should tread lightly when it comes to sending in the National Guard of opposite states into their political opponent states, because if the shoe were on the other foot, they would be very upset. And perhaps the next Democratic president should make that point by saying, hey, listen, in order to avoid us ever doing this again, we're going to do to you what you did to us. So we're going to send the New York, California, Illinois National Guard into Texas and other red states, and they're going to do something lawful there, something productive.
So this morning, the vice president of our country was on ABC News with George Stephanopoulos, who is married to old girl from Dharma and Greg. I always forget that. But he was on there. He asked a question about Tom Homan, the $50,000 that he was offered in the bribe, the situation that no one will answer outside of saying that there was not sufficient evidence to charge him with a crime. And J.D. Vance, I think they have it's not a think, because there was a zoom in on the paperwork that Pam Bondi had at her hearing with Congress, where it showed a pre-written list of reads and comebacks for anything that people said. And then when she ran out of her quips, she was silent. As an attorney, as someone who's supposed to be quick on their feet, I'm sad that you needed a cheat sheet, but I digress. I believe J.D. Vance also has a J.D. I think so, possibly. That being said, J.D. Vance's response, you're putting forward this terrible statement, and this is why no one watches your show. This is why your ratings are terrible. This is why you're losing your show. And George Stephanopoulos lets him say his things, and then George comes back and says, I just want to say, essentially, I asked you about this situation that was recorded by the FBI, and did he keep the money? Because no one will tell us if he kept the money. They'll tell us he wasn't charged. They won't say if he kept the $50,000, right? And George Stephanopoulos let him finish speaking and then reiterated, I asked you a simple question. And then J.D. Vance tried to come back in and interject foolishness, and George cut him off, sent it to commercial. Now, on like a nuclear level, this is beautiful, because the real thing is, Yes, they have. Yes, they're going to own pieces of TikTok. Yes, they're going to have these platforms, but these people have been involved in these platforms. I don't know why we acting like that's not new. We just are seeing some clear evidence of it. But two, they do need mainstream spaces because they want to reach. If people who were already on their side were entrenched and that's all they had, they would not continue to accomplish these things that they are doing, right? They have to be able to spread false information to the masses because more people are moderate than you think. More people are moderate than you think, right? And so the beauty of, so like there's just basic beauty in like cutting him off, but our president's grift, these companies giving him $20, $30, $40 million to build the ballroom. I mean, they're dropping millions of dollars and they're not taking him to court. They're just settling and just ending it. Started with ABC and George Stephanopoulos. It started with ABC. And so that's been the fuel that our president has utilized to continue to weaponize his position as the highest power in the land to bully these networks and these entertainment entities to do his bidding, and then weaponizing the FCC to do so as well. Because if these business deals can't go through, these people can't maintain their position of power through capitalism, of course. But that's just the cherry on top. Is that y'all, George, who has been an incredible journalist for decades, for y'all to play on his top, and then more so for you, why would you come back to a platform for a man that you said is a chronic liar and has terrible ratings? Why are you here? Why take us over to Fox News? I am pretty sure that they did not campaign to have you come up there and have a conversation, JD Vance. I am pretty sure that your team reached out. Go on over there. Have Brian Kilmeade have the conversation. But that was really juicy to witness, and George did it in such a classy way. And that is what journalists do. Not podcasters, not girls who went to YouTube University, journalists.
And this is what needs to happen. The press needs to do more of this. I don't even watch network TV anymore, but I'm glad that George Stephanopoulos did this. They need to debunk their lies in real time and stop them from lying. Just cut them off. When they start lying, cut them off.
It's Joe from Georgia. Did anyone have the opportunity today, if you ever watched the Sunday news shows, have the opportunity to see J.D. Vance trying in every way that he possibly could to blame everything on Democrats, even though, we know the president's a Republican, Congress is controlled by Republicans, the Senate is controlled by Republicans. And he went into rants, folks, today about the same talking point continuously. He's only talking to one person when he's on those shows. He's only talking to the president. Well, today, George Stephanopoulos just cut him off. And you could hear when George just cut him off, you've got the Vice President of the United States. He is talking rather loudly and denying everything. And he not only did that on George Stephanopoulos' show, he did it on 2 other shows that he was on today. So J.D. Vance, he is the president's whipping boy. And he's out there trying to make the case for the president, even though he's lying every bit that he's putting out there.
Hey, y'all, come look at this. That's what the fuck I'm talking about, George Stephanopoulos. He's standing on business. For y'all that don't know, our border czar was caught with $50,000 he got bribed with. This ain't no rumor. This ain't no, we think so. This so we know so. The FBI reported it, but the thing is, the DOJ was like, he ain't did nothing. So they swept that shit under the rug. But everybody know about it. They've been talking about all this Congress and shit, you know what I'm saying? But George Stephanopoulos spoke on it. And J.D. Vance said that bullshit. And George like, I ain't trying to hear that shit. Let's cut the commercial. Y'all don't forget, George a real motherfucking political goddamn journalist. Yeah, he worked on Good Morning America and shit. But George back in the day was serious. I don't even think he wanted to work on goddamn Good Morning America. Goddamn George, bring that shit back. Take your ass back to Washington and goddamn break that shit down for us. But that shit was cool as hell. He cut J.D. Vance off. Fuck you, J.D. Vance. You bullshitting ass. Goddamn George standing on business. That was a good thing to see this morning. Now we need to see about them Epstein files. Release them. I ain't talking about that other shit because I ain't been talking about it. It's out of my pay grade. But yeah, fuck that, man. Goddamn, we need more journalists to stand on business. Because our Trump done got in the goddamn Oval Office is them motherfucking right-wing journalists and them motherfuckers from the internet. Well, Walter motherfucking Cronkite. Fuck that. Barbara Walters can handle that. Barbara, go on there and goddamn interview Trump then. Get the motherfucking Epstein.
Holy moly, did you see the interview between George Stephanopoulos from ABC News and J.D. Vance today? George asked the vice president if Tom Homan was going to return the $50,000, the bribe that he received in an FBI undercover sting right at the end of Joe Biden's presidency, and it was basically dismissed and thrown out when Trump came into office. And he asked him if he was going to return the $50,000. J.D. Vance acted like he didn't know what he was talking about. And then watch what happens at the very end of the interview. It is the biggest smackdown I've seen in a long time between a journalist and someone from this administration. I have no words except bravo, George Stephanopoulos. That's amazing.
Today, JD Vance, he really tapped into it with probably one of the worst performances I've ever seen out of Vance. He's usually okay at, not to give him a compliment, but like evading questions and pretending that he's the debate bro who's kind of dunking on the lib. But today it was horrible for a couple of reasons. The first, he was so unable to answer one of George Stephanopoulos' questions that he was literally removed from the show. They just decided that he was going to have to bounce. The other was because Vance, once again, found himself in a disagreement with Donald Trump in a resurfaced clip. We're going to get into it all. I want to start with Vance just getting kicked off of air by Stephanopoulos for refusing to answer a question about Tom Homan, because it's what journalists should be doing. And then we'll get into how he had to go against Donald Trump's own words.
J.D. Vance was just cut off mid-sentence by a reporter, and the interview immediately ended because they were tired of Vance's BS. Now, this happened today on ABC, where J.D. Vance was being interviewed by George Stephanopoulos and was asked about the alleged bribe that Tom Homan took. Well, Vance answered with the usual blame the media nonsense, and then this happened.
Not answer the question. Thank you for your time this morning.
No, George, I said that I don't.
Up next, we'll be right back.
Yeah, just cut him off. Didn't even wait to hear any more of his nonsense, and this is long overdue. If this administration is not going to be honest with the American people, then what is the point of talking to them? When Donald Trump goes on and talks about how he's lowered grocery prices, how gas prices are below $2, what is the point of giving that airtime? If the administration is not going to be honest with the American people, the media has a duty to both call out the lie, but also cut off the lie. Why give airtime to that? Instead, correct the record and move forward. Well done.
Yo, George Stephanopoulos asked J.D. Vance 4 times the same question. And the first time, George Stephanopoulos didn't even say it was a bribe. George Stephanopoulos gave him the facts that the FBI caught Tom Homan. So, including the FBI means the FBI was investigating Tom Homan. They caught Tom Homan taking a $50,000 bribe in September of 2024. And J.D. Vance refuses to answer the question. So George Stephanopoulos had enough and just cut off the interview. And J.D. Vance tried to say something else and just cut. That's how you handle those people. That's exactly how you handle.
Shout out to the people that reacted to this whole situation. I think I've also started to realize I've been coming across a lot of clips of Republican leaders whenever they get any media attention and they get asked certain specific questions that actually need answers because people need a stand on certain issues. What they do is they normally twist, start gaslighting, and, start spreading propaganda. And they also start disrespecting the interviewers and the press in general. I think a lot of people would agree right now that this administration has been so very disrespectful to the press, to the media. And the way the media and the press are handled is just, very, really humiliating. And it comes from the head, who is Donald Trump. Whenever he's asked a pressing question that actually, puts him in a place where he has to give an accountability, he spins it, he insults the reporter, and he starts talking about how, that's why not so many people watch you, that's why your ratings are down. You see that these people have literally, some of them have been fired, they have lost their jobs. You've seen that a lot of these people have been doxxed. It's become a norm for the Republican leaders and representatives to disrespect the press and also really, I don't know what they be trying to do, because if you're asked just a simple question, why don't you answer it and then at least go ahead and spin your narrative? But to be honest, it looks like always, they have the defense mode on. And whenever you are always on a defense mode, a lot of my friends would say, you are a narcissist. You hate taking accountability. And I think over and over again, we've seen that with Trump. We've seen that with the press secretary, Caroline Levitt. To an extent, a lot of people are just tired of even looking at her, right? And then to JD Vance, who literally does nothing in the administration except probably taking vacations. Those are not my words. Those are some of the words of Americans. They're like, he's not doing anything except probably appearing in the media and taking vacations, And now, the time he gets to speak sense when he's asked questions that actually concern the whole nation of the guy that took a bribe, right? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but he did not violate any crime. Is that even right English? Violate crime? I thought he was supposed to be violating the law. Anyway, that's what JD Vance said. They start gaslighting, and it looks like Americans are tired of this constant gaslighting, this constant keeping the left as if they are the bad ones, when all they are trying to do is hold, because the role of the opposition is to hold the government accountable. For the Republicans that do not know this, the role of the opposition is always to put light on the things the government is not doing right, so that this so-called government for the people corrects the narrative and corrects everything and, better service delivery for the people. But it looks like the government is trying to control a narrative. That is why a lot of people will be like, this is authoritarianism at hand, one-on-one, right? Because they don't want to hear anything that points at the evils that they are doing, right? I don't know if you've started realizing in different airports, they have started playing a certain audio, videos, throwing blames to the Democrat side. They're like, the government is shut. You're not getting this because of the Democrats. That is very childish and stupid. These airports are used by people that are intellectuals. These airports are passages. If you didn't know, this is what tells people about you. This is, by the way, the first impression any visitor to your country will get of you. This is how much you were belittling and literally embarrassing and putting United States to a level of children playing little tiny games. Yeah? Of pointing fingers at each other when you know very well you cut, medical care subsidies for the people. When we have seen the hugest, biggest lines of the servicemen lining up to get free food. Gracious, people see these things. Americans see these things, and they are not stupid. Unless if you're not that much respectful to them, but at least to the people that have served the country. Even if all Americans really serve in various positions, to be honest, because it's their money that you use to run the government and you don't give to them nothing for free. So the smallest thing that you can do is giving them the services they are paying taxes for. And then you are playing propaganda in airports, right? And then when leaders are asked questions, they start gaslighting and start disrespecting the press. We've seen the press being beaten, their microphones destroyed, all of that in the United States of America. So that's why a lot of Americans are applauding this. Now, of course, the other side is not happy because they're like, how dare you? And I think one thing they also think is, because I am the vice president of the US, people will listen to me. No more, because you guys spread propaganda and you lie a lot. Even Republicans will agree that this government has lied to them. And that this government actually comes in the media and says something, and tells a typical lie. These people say they don't know nothing about Project 2025 until when himself, the president, came out with a clip that was so disturbing and dark of, is it whoever, the Reaper, something like that. The camp that was so dark, I was like, it's time to rip this. These are the people that are literally revenging and firing federal workers, yeah, because of the government shutdown, simply because they're like, when you lose your job, blame the Democrats. So, Americans, what do you guys think? Because I think it is time for the airtime of these people to be taken away. Yeah. If they want to spin their narrative, let them go on Fox News, because not a lot of people watch Fox News. It is maggots that watch Fox News. Let me know what you think in the comment section. That was, that was it. I don't know how the man is feeling in his pants right now, but I know for sure he's not happy about it, about being caught. And this is not the first time. Looks like these two have a long history of, if you say BS, if you speak BS, I'm cutting you off. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I think from me for today, that's it. I do love all of you guys, and I want you to stay safe out there. May God watch over you and protect you. I will definitely see you in another amazing episode. Till then, my name is Gracie. Bye, y'all.